Greetings. This is a pre-video of my next book review. So let me recap the previous book review that I did the first 2 months of the year, and then what the next one's going to be all about. So I'm going to give you the background information first. In the previous book review, the author's name is Helen Hunt Jackson. The title is Ramona. Background: Mexico gains their independence from Spain. Mexico restores land back to the indigenous Californians, as they should. Soon after, the United States of America and Mexico declares war on each other. United States of America wins. The United States takes land from both the indigenous Californians and Mexicans. Now, last year, I created a fictional story with several characters. Two of them, Alex Lundqvist and Chachi Smith-Lundqvist, are part indigenous Californian. With the royalties Chachi earns from her first film about kitsune, shape-shifting foxes in Japan, she buys land from neighboring Brisbane, California, and builds homes for them and their friends. So we see over 100 years earlier, their ancestors lost the land, and now, over a century later, they buy back some of the land. So that part of the story is really, really significant. Because it does come full circle. Now, next in book review, the author's name is Chris Gardner. The title is The Pursuit of Happiness. Some of you may have watched the film, but the book is different. There's some things that are the same. Chris Gardner, the main character, the chance meeting with a stockbroker, but the details are different. Now, this is really significant. There's background information. San Francisco used to have a vibrant African American culture. So let me give you a partial list of people from San Francisco. And some of you are familiar with them. Johnny Mathis, Etta James, RBL Posse, 11-5, Cindy Heron, founder and singer from the En Vogue group. Martin Luther McVoy, actor, guitar, musician. Larry June, rapper. Pretzi, rapper. Sylvester is actually born in Los Angeles, but he went to San Francisco, became a singer. 24K Golden, rapper. So some of these names you might be familiar with. Some of them you're like, oh, never heard of them. It's not just singers. We also have fine arts, such as Mildred Howard. Mildred was a sculptor and mixed media artist. Sergeant Claude Johnson was a visual artist, painting, drawing, and sculpting. David Johnson was a photographer. Howard Ellis King was a visual artist and curator. Stanley Green, artist and photojournalist. H. Len Keller, filmmaker and photographer. Then we also have performing arts. Jimmy Fails, actor. Danny Glover is probably someone is more familiar with. Danny Glover, Terry J. Vaughn, Kevin Epps. Then the writing, we got Maya Angelou, Bob Kaufman, Devorah Major, poet laureate. So San Francisco, California, the African American population continues to decline. 1970s, 13.1%. Around the time of Chris Gardner, his story is in the 1980s. 12.3% of the population is African American. 1990, 10.7%. 2000, 7.6%. 2010, 6%. So what's going on? What happened? As in, like a lot of the big cities, African Americans are overrepresented in violent crime. So local government's response is gentrification, raise the housing prices to the point where African Americans cannot live in the city any longer. So you can see when the United States won the war, Mexican American War, they forced indigenous Californians and Mexicans off of the land, and now with Chris Gardner's story, the government sees, we have violent crime going on. Most of them are committed by African Americans. So what they decided to do is move the problem somewhere else, which is gentrification, eminent domain. They take the land away from African Americans, or they make the housing prices to the point where they're literally choking the African Americans. They can't buy a house, they can't rent keeps going up, so they move away. So I will start in a couple of days with chapter 1, Chris Gardner. So yeah, again, if you have watched the film, I would recommend reading the book. The book actually tells you what actually happened, whereas the movie, it's all Hollywood. They sugarcoat what he went through, changes, critical details. So this book will actually tell you exactly what happened to him, and what happened, how he was living in San Francisco, and why he left. So, questions, comments, constructive criticisms, asking for clarification, let me know. And in a couple of days, I will start with chapter 1. Take care.